what it do, man? Hey, it's your boy Mr. Ball and Parlay, man. We finally doing what our people been wanting us to do. That special word consistency, man. So, hey, Ball and Parlay, we are partnered with Wyt Choc. Hey, we got a machine behind us now, so we can support our members now. We can keep y'all engaged, in tune, give y'all our insight on these games week in and week out. But we need y'all to hit that subscribe button, man. Like and comment week in and week out. And you know we're going to take care of y'all. I'm going to pass to my boy Q, man.
Yeah, what's up, man? It's Q. Definitely appreciate everybody for rocking with us. It's been about 2 or 3 years now. We finally going to another level, but we still need y'all support to support the brand. Hit the Facebook page, like, subscribe, share, do all of that for us, and we're gonna take care of y'all. I promise you.
Absolutely, and I want to welcome everybody in. They call me Wyt Choc. I'm going to be the host of this thing, and you have found your way into the Ball and Parlay Lounge. This is going to be a little roundtable type discussion. We'll go a little bit fast paced. We're going to talk about the week that was, the week that's coming up. We're going to discuss gambling, sports gambling. We're going to talk about different types of things, just whatever's happening out there in the world. Anything that we want to talk about, it's our podcast. We can do whatever we want to do. So that's how it's going to be, and that's how it's going. So I just definitely want to welcome everybody in. And what we'll do to start off this thing, before we start looking forward to week one in the NFL, week two of college football, we want to take time to look back at the week that was in a segment we call Look Back at It. So, gentlemen, what we're going to do is this. We're going to look back at it. Week one, college football. Wasn't really all that great. It was better than week zero. We all agree that week zero was just really, really not what we need. I mean, I guess it wetted our whistle and got us going and ready for the football season, but it was not very good. Now, week one, we saw a lot of really, really good teams playing, a lot of really, really bad teams. You have Georgia playing a ranked Oregon and going just ham on them and making Bo Nix look just so pedestrian. And it was quite an embarrassment. Mr. Ball and Parlay, give me your assessment of the Oregon-Georgia game and how you felt about it.
Well, I'm going to go in on Oregon first since we like to say the best for last. Bo Nix, I got a LinkedIn resume typed up for you. An Indeed link. Hey, man, you're going to be coaching at Penson soon when you keep playing like that. But hey, not just the down Oregon, Georgia, y'all look like the real deal. This coming from a Bama fan. We know y'all lost a lot to the NFL. Jordan Davis replacement on that defensive line. That kid looked amazing, and I think he's a freshman. But hey, let's talk about the elephant in the room. A lot of people were saying that the quarterback from Georgia, Stetson, if I'm not mistaken, they used to say there's a lot of talent surrounding him, and that was the reason of Georgia's success. But in this Oregon game, man, he showed that he can extend the play, um, throw the deep ball, throw the short ball. Like this kid is looking amazing. So Georgia's the real deal, man. Like us Bama fans, we got to take Georgia seriously and put some respect on their name, and we got to come with it because Georgia has showed that hey, they might be here to stay for a minute. So hey, some of that Saban sauce probably oozed over on Kirby, you know.
All right, Q, now, as an Auburn fan, you had to be watching this game with some interest with Bo Nix behind the center. So what did you think about the game?
Uh, like he said, man, Bo Nix in about another year or two, he'll be back at Penson coaching. Uh, don't get me wrong, I wish best for anybody, but if quarterbacking is not your thing, it's just not your thing. You can't force it. But I like Georgia, man, and especially the way their defense played. Their defense is like probably one of the defenses I've seen in a long time. They actually communicate before the play. If you ever watch them like right before the snap, like they're communicating if they see certain stuff with each other, and then they play as one. They play as one unit, and you don't get too many defenses that do that in college at that. So Kirby got these guys kind of ready to go, and at the end of the day, he already know that he's aiming for saving. So I definitely like the way Georgia played, and they're going to be a problem this year.
Oh, absolutely. I agree. I think Georgia's a very complete team. They've got everything working for them. I think that it's lining up to be a really, really awesome season for the SEC. Um, to jump around a little bit, let's jump over to Ohio State versus Notre Dame. That was number 2 Ohio State versus number 5 Notre Dame. Uh, the game I was just kind of a little bit lackluster. I mean, Notre Dame has a new head coach. Ohio State, they're bringing in big talent. They're Ohio State, but 21-10, Ohio State win. Mr. Ball and Parlay, what'd you think about the game?
I'm gonna be real. Like, I feel like the best team lost. I feel like Notre Dame, like, you had it. I know we gonna touch on it a little bit later, but that game ain't turned around until the special team hiccups. Like, that gave Ohio State that momentum. Like, Notre Dame had some good plays, man. The defense was playing solid. Like, I feel like truly the best team lost. So I'm looking to see how like Notre Dame reacts and for the rest of the season. I don't feel like Ohio State truly won that game. I feel like Notre Dame lost that game. That's just my take on it.
Q, what do you think, man?
I really think both teams kind of got out to a slow start, and those teams kind of get out to the slow start as the season is concerned anyway. Every year, like they don't come out really showing what they got because they're just trying to figure some things out. Like we all know Ohio State can put up 65 points easy, and Notre Dame can probably put up close to that and have a good defensive game. So I just think that game was kind of like a feel to kind of get a feel for probably the top opponents they got on the schedule and things like that.
Interesting. So Notre Dame, number 5, loses to another top 10 team that lost, the Utah Utes and the Florida Gators. Now, Utah was ranked number 7, and everyone's been talking big. I believe they did pretty well last year in the Pac-12, and everyone was thinking that they may have a real chance to do something. And they decided to go on down to the swamp and play against Florida, and Florida did a little something. Q, did you watch any of that game, and did you
Yeah,
have any takeaways from it?
yeah, man. I love what Richardson did. Like that kid's gonna be special this year. He's making plays happen when there's nothing there, and you've always been taught, especially if you play little league football, trying to make something happen out of nothing can sometimes be bad. But he made it look all good. So I'm really excited to see what else he can do this year.
Hmm. And what do you think, Mr. Ball and Parlay?
Hey man, like I said, man, he extending plays. I love QBs that can extend the play. This dude did a pump fake with a 300-pound lineman this close to his face with confidence. Spent around probably a top play so far of the year, like with confidence in that was in crunch time too. That was the drive to go ahead.
Yeah,
Maybe on third or fourth down. Like so, hey, I'm riding with the kid. They call him the Black Tebow. We gonna roll with him, man. They knocked off a big dog first week, man. I'm rolling with Black Tebow, man.
Okay, okay. Now, we'll talk about a couple of wild games that happened last week, and then we're going to wrap this thing up. But
Cool.
one that really stuck out was the LSU FSU game. Now, this game was just pure insanity. I was watching it. I see with about 2 minutes and 25 seconds to go that most of the LSU fans are filing out of the stadium there at the Superdome in New Orleans. And then all of a sudden they get the ball back, and all the fans start trying to get back in, and they work their way all the way back in, and they get right to their seats to see their special teams kicker to kick the extra point to send it into overtime and also ensure that the game's total would go over. He misses. It ends up on 47. And if it had been 48, I mean, even with a field goal, it would have been 51. It was 50 and a half for the over-under. Just a really crazy type of game. And special teams, Mr. Ball and Parlay, special teams, how important are they?
The fix is in. These people. Hey, come on, man. Week one. We all know it's like getting you like a boxing match. You feeling another team out, but I always say, man, special team shows coaching. It shows discipline. It's very important, man. It's very important. Like I get flashbacks from my high school days, man. We was picked to win state. My kicker was known for chilling. What happened in the playoffs? We need him. He kicked the ball straight up in the air. We lose the game,
Mm.
man. I never forget in the playoffs, but hey, man, LSU, y'all had this game, special teams. It come down to special teams, man. Consistency, discipline. Like I said before, man, Y'all kids that's trying to get a spot on these D1 programs or just get an opportunity to show yourself. Special teams is where to show it, man. Like it's crazy. I love to see LSU lose, but I hate to see a team lose that way.
Yeah.
Q, what did you think? Then did you watch this game? Did you agonize over it? Did it bite you? Did it hurt you?
My brother and my uncle, they're FSU fans, so I kind of pull for that way. At the end of the day, I'm kind of a second home value type person, but this
Oh
particular
wow.
game, too many mistakes. Florida State actually had to go ahead score, and they fumbled like on the 3 yard line. So
Yeah.
and you thinking, okay, well, then the fact that Florida State defense let LSU drive 97 yards down the field to actually score, and then you get LSU to do all of that just to lose the game on a block extra point. So it was a wild game.
That was crazy. Absolutely. And one other wild game. Number 13, NC State, playing, I guess, in region rival ECU.
Yeah.
And I mean, this is the 13th ranked team in the nation. And I ain't going to try to take anything away from ECU because they play teams tight and they play teams close. But when you're number 13, it came down to their defense could not stop ECU. They drive all the way down. They ended up giving a late touchdown up, and the special teams come right along, and the kicker for ECU misses it. NC State wins 21-20 in a squeaker. Q, did you see this game? I mean, what else do we really need to say about special teams? I mean, this is nuts.
Owen Daffer. That's all you got to say. They they
Call
they
his name. Speak his name.
they played to know your team played that hard, and you have one job as a kicker, and that's to make field goals, and you do that. Nah, you got to go, buddy. I'm sorry.
What do you think, Mr. Ball and Parlay?
Hey, the kid was a preseason All American. Hey, I don't know what happened. I hate to say this phrase. The fix is in. Hey,
Oh,
let's go. Hey, they go down there. They drive down the field to tie the game. He misses the extra point. The defense rallies, gets a stop on the other end. I think they drive like more than 90 yards. All
let's.
you got to do is make your field goals. What
Yep.
happens? Come on, bro. You shank it.
You
The
got
first
one
time they blamed it
job.
on the laces, yeah. The first time they blamed it on the laces. This time they blamed it on the faces. Get them out of there. Get them out of
Absolutely.
there.
It was just hard to watch all the way around. No way else to put it. So that was us taking a chance to look back at it. And now it's time to move on to the future. Now, college football this week is week 2, and there's a few matchups here or there that are of note. I guess we should just start with the best matchup, if it were even to call it a matchup. I mean, there's a lot of really crappy games. This is, I don't know, just one of those weeks like it used to be something, but they're doing things weird. Number 1, Alabama at Texas. Now, I saw some signs from Texas fans saying that they wanted Bama. I see Steve Sarkisian saying that this game does not define them as a program, doesn't say anything about their chances of being in the college football playoffs this year, and he's not taking any kind of credence into that. And I just can't believe that at all. Mr. Bottle and Parlay, it's number 1 Alabama, minus 20 at this point, at Texas. Tell me one reason why Alabama doesn't win by 5 touchdowns.
This right here. Steve Sarkey. This for you. Hey.
We're going to
Hey.
drink one for Steve.
We got to drink one for Steve. Hey. Anybody that be in all that trouble, all them problems like that, and Saban still keep him on staff, he's an offensive genius, an offensive minded genius. Me, really, I'm gonna play devil's advocate, man. Hey, I think Texas covers. You heard it here. That's my raw take.
Mm. Q, he says Texas covers. What do you think, man?
Hey, that's coming from a Bama fan. I'm not a Bama fan, and I think it's going to be like you said, man, 5 touchdowns easy. It's just at this point with Texas, I don't think with Texas, I don't think they're ever going to be as elite as they were when the Vince Young days. So them playing
Mm.
Bama, I think it's just like it was a pretty much a thing where they wanted to see Sarkeesian and Saban go at it. But Bama, I say Bama maybe about 30, 40, easy.
Hey, they just got to keep that oil on the sideline. You'll see.
keep that drink in the cup, and they'll be all right. Now, on this weekend, there's not very many ranked matchups. We do have a couple. One that's of interest to us here in SEC land is number 24 Tennessee taking on number 17 Pitt.
Okay.
Now, we saw Pitt play West Virginia last week. There was a whole lot of I don't know if you want to say it was shit talk or I'm not saying. I mean, there was just didn't the quarterback for Pitt just basically say fuck West Virginia? I mean, he just came right out and said it at the press conference. So, coming off of that game, and Pitt ends up winning. Which you have to do if you're going to do all that. You've got to go out there and win, and it was a very tough game. Tennessee, they played some cupcake. They beat the crap out of them. So they're really kind of, I don't know, just not really out there right this second. We don't know anything about Tennessee right now for them to even be ranked 24. So, Q, got any thoughts on this Tennessee-Pitt game?
I'm going Tennessee on this one, man. I'm gonna always take the SEC over any conference, and that's just me because I just feel like when it comes to the SEC, physical, fast, everything. So Pitt maybe have a team because I didn't get a chance to check out the first game, but I honestly think Tennessee probably gonna get them on this one.
Yep, Mr. Ball and Parlay, got any thoughts? I mean, this is Tennessee -6 on the road, so. That change your mind? That do anything for you?
Man, I actually like Tennessee this week. They got the running game going. I think they had one running back that had like 80 yards, another one that had about 70. Quarterback still threw for almost 200 yards, if not a little bit over, and had 2 touchdowns. I actually watched that game. Tennessee, and this comes from a Bama fan, I hate to say it, but they played a complete game. Granted, they played Ball State, but they played a complete game. So I look for them to keep that momentum going, only because I know Pitt took a major loss with the fake slide kid, Mr. Pickett himself. Yep. So I'm going to go with Tennessee on this one. Bold take.
Interesting. Yeah, with Pickett now at the Steelers right there in Pittsburgh. He hadn't gone that far, so that'll be interesting to see how it pans out. We got another one that I kind of want to talk about. Obviously, we talked about Florida a little bit earlier. You've got Kentucky at Florida. Kentucky, lots of preseason hype. They're number 20. Florida now moved up to number 12 after not being ranked last week and beating Utah, as we said before. Florida's a 6.5-point favorite. Q, what do you think? Florida get it done?
I think Florida will get it did. I don't think they'll cover the spread, though. Reason being that Kentucky, if you watch their offense, especially last year, they got some up and coming stars that were like freshmen last year, and one of them I think is Christian Lewis, big time receiver that went to Pleasant Grove. He's going to be huge for them if they can get him fit into the game plan. But I still think Florida kind of edge them out, but they're going to have some problems with that Kentucky offense.
Ball, how you feeling about it?
I'm going to go the other way, man. I actually dove into that game a little bit. Kentucky, I don't think they had one passing touchdown that game. So I feel like it was because of the competition they were playing. So the scoreboard may be a little, we could say smoke and mirrors. I feel like it's gonna go other way on this one. So I don't feel like Kentucky truly played a complete game. So.
And we have one other matchup from college football before we move off this that I think is like a matchup of the minds, I guess you can say. We've got the ranked 23rd ranked Wake Forest Demon Deacons playing against the Vanderbilt Commodores. A bunch of rich kids getting together and slap fighting themselves. It is in Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt actually did not look that bad week one. I'm not sorry, and they're 2-0. They played a garbage game in that week 0 or whatever it is, and they haven't looked that bad. Wake Forest is like one of those streaky teams. You remember in years past, they start the season off, they'll beat somebody 70-3 or something like that, and then they come out the next week and they can't even score two field goals or whatever. So a little bit streaky there. Do you have any thoughts on this Wake Forest Vanderbilt Battle of the Geniuses game? Q, what do you think?
I'm taking Wake Forest all day because Vanderbilt don't have a snowball chance in here. I'm sorry. Like I've watched some Vanderbilt games, and some of the stuff I see them do is like really. Like you got to take Wake Forest. And I remember last year, I think it was the last game of Wake Forest schedule. They played Army. I think it was. That was a hell of a game, and Wake
Yeah,
Forest I
it
think
was.
put up like 70 points. So I was like, "Ooh, Wake Forest got some real pressure down there." So I'm definitely going Wake Forest over Vanderbilt any day.
Ball, it's Wake Forest minus 12.5 on the road.
Hey,
Does that do anything for you?
they gonna do it, man. They got my boy at quarterback, Mr. Grievous, Mitch G. That man threw for 3 touchdowns last game. I think the running back had a look right at 100 yards. Hey, them Vanderbilt ain't got it, man. Come on, let's be real. Let's be real. They too smart. They in them books too heavy. Mitch G, he out there throwing like he trying to have a pro day. Coming hot, I think it won't even be close. I like Wake Forest to cover.
Okay. So that wraps up the college talk. Now we're going to move on to NFL talk. It's week 1 NFL. You've got a lot of interesting matchups this week. Starting right now, which we're recording this now on Thursday night, and we had discussed this earlier, the Bills at the Rams. All three of us all like the Bills, and we liked them against the spread. Looking at it, I looked at it a few minutes ago. It looks like the Bills are up 31-10 at this point. So looks like we were right on with that. And the Bills are a good team. They've been doing a whole lot of good things as far as improving their team, signing the right people, getting the right players in and around Josh Allen, making sure their defense is right. They're going in the right direction. They had a great showing last year. Last year in the playoffs, they lost in the divisional round. But they did have that game against the Patriots where they scored like a touchdown on the first 7 possessions. Basically, what they call a perfect game, pitching a perfect game in football. But Mr. Ball and Parlay, going into this Bills-Rams game, what was it that stood out to you that made you want to think that you should take the Bills?
Like I said, man, them 2 words, man, Josh Allen. Like he showed that he's a top 5 QB. Young as he is, he's composed. He's starting to get that confidence, and like I said, he has some Patrick Mahomes in him. He has some of that old Ben Roethlisberger in him. Like he's a big guy that can move. But just to kind of take Q's shine, Von Miller. Like I didn't think Von Miller would look like that with this defense. Like it looked like he still got some in the tank while I'm watching this game. But 4 words, man. Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs. The NFL gonna have to watch out for them, man. And not it looking like Knox worth that money they gave him for sure.
Absolutely. Q, what was it about this game that made you lean toward the Bills?
The Bills' defense when they added Von Miller it really just put the icing on the cake, honestly, because they already had some stat guys, and I tell a lot of people Tre'Davious White is the most underrated corner in the league. Honestly, you don't hear enough people talking about him and actually complimenting him on his game. So when they added Von Miller, man, I said, oh, it's a wrap defensively. But like Dave was saying, like Knox, man, Knox probably the top 4, top 5 tight end in the league easy. So he's a big factor in that offense with Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs, without a doubt.
Absolutely, and there's plenty of season left if the Rams can get it going and get
Thanks.
themselves back into it. I mean, that's the reason why they play them all on the field. So, moving on to Sunday, Week 1 NFL, Sunday. Got a few interesting things that I want to talk about here. Number 1 off the top, 49ers at the Bears. Now, the 49ers have had a lot of wackiness going on, and the Bears have had a little bit of craziness going on here or there. Mr. Ball and Parlay is a big 49ers fan. So, Well, give me a. I mean, this game looks like it's going to be San Francisco -7, and they're on the road at Chicago. So, how you feeling about this game?
Hey, bang bang Niner game, baby. Trey area is going down. Y'all know I'm diehard, so hey, this is coming from a bias heart. You see the skull in the back on the other side of my mic. But listen, Nick Bosa is going to be going against a rookie left tackle all game. That's all I'm gonna say. I'll let Q take it. Wyt Choc.
Go ahead, Q.
I'm gonna still take the 49ers, but what I read earlier today, George Kittle hurt his groin in practice, and he probably won't play.
Mm.
So we're really gonna see what their receiving core has and Debo Samuel, Ayuk. Who is the slot guy y'all have now?
Jennings.
Jennings, yes.
Jawan. Yeah, Jawan Jennings. Danny Gray. I know them
So we
all.
so we definitely gonna see what their receiving core work. But I give it to the 49ers on this one probably by 10, easy.
I also would take the 49ers -7, but I might buy half a point down to 6.5 just to give the man a little something. So yeah, interesting matchup though. Really, I mean, if we tuned in and the 49ers were up 35-3, no one would be surprised. I mean, the Bears have just had those kind of years, so it's been pretty
Yeah.
crappy. So moving on, we've got the New Orleans Saints versus the Atlanta Falcons. Now, I am an Atlanta Falcons fan. Unfortunately, I've been through a lot over the years. It's been a hard road to hoe, and I'm hoping one day that maybe it'll just stop. Maybe the team will move somewhere else, and I can stop this. But it's been on and on. Now, Q, he's a Saints fan. He actually got to know what it felt like to be a champion 17 years ago or whatever it was. So we've got the Saints at the Falcons, and the Saints are a 5.5 point favorite. And I guess Jameis Winston is going to be the starter of the Saints. So Q, I'll pitch it over to you. Who do you like, the Saints or the Falcons?
Hey man, you see the cup, man. Listen. I am true to this. I'm not new to this. With these Saints, man, last year we was going on a bit of a run until J-Bo got hurt. You know, our backup quarterback, third string quarterback, they just there to fill roster spots, honestly. And you got to think this year we made some key additions in Mays at free safety after we lost Marcus Williams. Um, Chris Olave from Ohio State signed Jarvis Landry to kind of help out Michael Thomas. Michael Thomas, he's still on the mend with that bad ankle, but man, it ain't a competition, man. And you know it, Chalk, like 35 point easy.
Ball, how you feeling about this game?
Hey, man. I hate to say this because I can't stand the Saints, but it's like I love Jameis Winston, man. I feel like he gets a bad shake sometimes because of the crab legs and the interceptions. But the kid is a baller, man. Chris Olave. I didn't know that was his how you said his last name, but dude, it's the real deal. They have Jarvis Landry. They have Michael Thomas. Like they probably have arguably the best defensive backs. You got my boy Lattimore. He got an exit named after him right by the stadium, I think.
Yes. Yep.
Honey Badger back home. Like on paper, the Saints are the real deal. Yes, they lost a big lineman to the Dolphins. What's his name? Is it
Armstead.
Armstead?
Yeah, Terry.
Armstead.
Hmm.
But I always felt like if Jameis Winston just had a little bit, just a little bit, he gonna shake some. So I like the Saints, man. I feel bad for the Falcons, but I like the Saints, man.
Well, as the Falcons fan here, I'll just say that I would take the Saints minus probably 28. I mean, I mean, it's we lost Matt Ryan to the Colts. The Colts this year probably are going to end up making some noise because they've
Oh
got a
yeah.
lot of pieces, and he fit in perfectly there. That was a great trade for him. We've got Marcus Mariota. If he doesn't hurt himself getting out of bed, and if he doesn't hurt himself putting on his jersey and on his pads, and if he doesn't hurt himself stretching, he'll probably end up getting hurt like in the first series on something, some kind of fluky something. So yes, I'm down on the Falcons this year, and it's just, man, I wish that Atlanta had another team, but It just is what it is, gentlemen. You gotta go with the horse that brought you here. And that childhood photo I have of me wearing a Falcons jersey, I just can't go anywhere else. I'm stuck. Thanks a lot, Mom and Dad. All right. So speaking of the Colts are on the road week 1 in the division, AFC South, and they're visiting the Texans. And now the Texans have exorcised the demons of Deshaun Watson, and there's still probably some lawsuits and things out there floating around that could affect them. But I'm pretty high on the Colts this year. I really feel like that, like I was saying, Matt Ryan is going to fit in. He's a heck of a player. If he's got the right type of offensive scheme, he's going to kill you. And the problem that he had when he was at the Falcons is that they had pieces here or there, but the line was always crap. The defense would just let you down in moments when it would just break your heart no matter how good you were. So, Q, you've got the Colts, and they're on the road -7 week 1 at the Texans. Who you like?
I'm going with the Colts, man. They got the running back Taylor, and he's something special. He's quick on his feet, real elusive, and he can get out that backfield quicker than any running back that I know right now. You got Michael Pittman Jr. out there. I think he's gonna ball out this year for him. And of course they got their defense, man, and he would know that trade what I think the 49ers made the mistake at. They should have kept Buckner. Buckner is a key piece and he performs every game, constantly getting pressure on that quarterback. So I definitely got to go with the Colts on this one.
Ball, who you like in this game?
I like the Colts, man. Like you said, White Chalk, man. Matt Ryan, he's a baller. He's proven himself. When he has some like people surrounding him, he'll be fine. He just needs like protection. I feel like that's the one thing the Falcons didn't invest in. Yes, they got key pieces here and there, but they didn't invest in that line. I love the Colts middle linebacker, Shaquille Leonard. I love the Colts backfield. They got Taylor, obviously, but they have a decent running back behind him as well, Hines. Dude's a baller, man. Like, they got a real complete team, man. I witnessed them last year play the 49ers, man, in the rain. They played a complete game. Like, everybody was clicking. And like you said, man, hey, DeForest Buckner is a baller. Like, he's a all-pro, no/slash defensive tackle. I hate we lost him, but I like the Colts, man. I hate to go favorite crazy, but I truly like the Colts as a complete team. And like I said, I feel like when an organization has public drama going on, it gets cloudy. You know what I'm saying? And it kind of makes you get away from the true goal, which is being a competitor and getting to that goal of the Super Bowl.
Absolutely, and obviously I'll take the Colts and I'll take the minus the points. I think that the Texans have been so bad for so long. Even when they had Deshaun Watson and he was really, really good, they were putting up 4 and 5 win seasons, and I mean, it's just going to be really ugly. Now, another interdivisional type of situation that we have going on week 1, the New England Patriots traveling all the way down to Miami to play the Dolphins. Now, you got Mac Jones. Used to play for that University of Alabama, that Nick Saban guy that maybe some of y'all have heard of, versus Tua Tagovailoa, this guy who also played for this Nick Saban guy. And you've got legendary coaches. You've got a brand new first-year coach at Miami, Mike McDaniel, versus Bill Belichick, the guy who feasts on these types of folks. And history will tell you that first-year head coaches and first-year quarterbacks do not do very well against Bill Belichick. Tua's got a couple of years under his belt now, but he is relatively fresh in this game. The Patriots did get down 5 days early to get acclimated to the heat and to make sure that everybody was kind of on board. You got the Dolphins. They're at home. They're a 3.5-point favorite. Ball, I'm going to pitch it out to you, man. What do you think about this game?
Man, I like what the Dolphins did down there. Not going to lie. I feel like Tua got some talent around him with moisture. From the 49ers. Very balanced running back, speed guy. Obviously got Tariq and Waddle. They made some additions on the defense, but I got to go Bill Belichick, man. You say he been in South Beach 5 days. Him and Mac Jones, they have showed they don't need much to win games. I'm going with my man Mac Jones, man.
Q, what do you think?
I'm gonna go with Miami on this one for the simple fact that to me, Miami is like the Dallas Mavericks of the NFL. No defense, But they're gonna move that well now. I think with the additions that they've made on the old line and the receivers, they're gonna move that ball downfield. My only concern is, can Tua get that deep ball to Tyreek? Can he get it to Waddle? And even if he can't, there's a guy behind him that can. They call him Teddy Two Gloves.
Yeah,
Teddy
that's
used to
right.
Teddy used to be a Teddy used to be with the Saints, man, I've seen Teddy throw a 75, 80-yard ball with no issue. So it's really gonna depend on how Tua do. If they can, if they have a deep ball, can he get it downfield to him and things of that nature? But I'm gonna take Miami, man, probably by 10. I think they're really gonna shock the nation on this one.
Interesting. I've been going back and forth on this. A lot of people are saying that the Dolphins could go to the playoffs and they might actually win the first playoff game since 2000, which means that there's a whole generation of people who have never seen the Miami Dolphins win a playoff game. So with everything that's Tyreek Hill and Waddle on the outside, you've got Tua, who's had troubles in the past with the deep ball. But his across the field, across the middle, accuracy, all of that is excellent. I'm still going to have to give an edge to Bill Belichick just for the coaching, because coaching in the NFL just matters so much. So I would take the Patriots, and I would take the points, and I'd probably take an ass whooping on it. And that's kind of how that goes. Now, one other for Sunday that I want to get to is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers going to the Dallas Cowboys. Now, we were discussing beforehand about this particular game. You've got Tom Brady and you've got Giselle, and his wife is leaving him. She can't believe he's coming back for another season. He had to leave for a few days to deal with some stuff and also to have some sort of plastic surgery or something for his face. And so there's a lot of weirdness happening there, 45-year-old quarterback. And on the other field, the other side of the field, you've got the Dallas Cowboys, and you've got Dak Prescott, who today I saw he was wearing his cleats the wrong way, and he had some discomfort. Now, it looks to me like it's like a built-in excuse on why we lose to Tom Brady in the Buccaneers week 1. Q, I'm going to pitch it over to you. You've got the Buccaneers. They are -2.5 on the road at Dallas. What do you think about this game?
Man, give me 8 and not the gate with Tampa Bay. Brady, man, I'll be the first to say, when Brady was with New England, couldn't stand him. I really still can't, especially now since he's with the in-division rival. But I got to give it to him. Respect due. He's the GOAT. You know what I mean? And they have a team that they have built up. You got guys like Mike Evans, Godwin, man, all those guys. Who's on that? Fournette. You got Evans, not Evans, but White on the defensive side. So that team is stacked, and I just don't think the Cowboys will ever return to their glory days as long as Jerry Jones has his hand in everything he has his hands in. He's trying to be the coach, the GM, the water boy, the trainer, the towel boy. It just ain't gonna work. So I'm definitely taking Tampa Bay on this one.
Ball, what do you think?
Hey, man, you say Dallas Cowboys, Tampa Bay, Sunday night. I feel like Dallas is setting the mood for y'all, man. Tampa Bay got the best roster lined up. They got the GOAT himself, Tom Brady. They got Mike Evans. They got Godwin. They got Leonard Fournette after a monster season. I'm going Dallas to fuck everybody parlays up.
Oh.
Hey, let's just be real. It would be the Dallas thing for everything to come through. And on Sunday night, they come out looking like Emmitt Smith and Deion Sanders and Aikman back on the roster. I'm going Dallas to cover, man. Bold take, you heard it here. Dallas to make your tickets explode. Trap.
Yeah. Interesting. There's no way. I'm kind of with Q on this. The only way that the Cowboys are ever going to be able to get back to where they were is that they have to go back to the things that made them great, which was crack cocaine and hookers, okay? Now, and Jerry Jones, I just don't see his brain. He didn't understand back then. You needed the crack. You needed the hookers. You run off Jimmy Johnson. You blow the whole thing up, and now you spend the next 30 years with everyone looking at you like, what are you doing? So I'm with Q on this. We need Jerry Jones to die basically, in order for the Cowboys to come back, some sort of a resurrection thing. That being said, I take Tampa Bay. I will take the points. Dallas, I just don't even know. I'll be interested now. You heard it. So Mr. Ball and Parlay himself said he feels like maybe Dallas is going to mess a bunch of people's tickets up. So take that as it would.
Hey.
And then one more game for Monday Night Football. Monday Night Football, you've got a good one. You've got the Broncos. Russell Wilson, new contract, just got traded. Where did he get traded from? Oh, that'd be the Seattle Seahawks, the team that the Broncos are playing week 1. So you've got Denver minus 6.5 on the road. I feel like Russell Wilson has a lot to prove. I feel like Denver has a lot to prove. I also feel like maybe the wheels are falling off Seattle. Maybe Pete Carroll's getting a little bit long in the tooth. Maybe it's time for him to ease on out to one of those cushy television jobs or something like that. So, Mr. Ball and Parlay, how you feeling about this Broncos versus Seahawks game?
Hey man, coming from a Niners fan, I love to see this. I'm finna say Deshaun Watson, Russell Wilson go, man. Like that dude's a baller, man. Like I literally seen him play with nothing, run for his life, and win week in and week out. Like I feel like he gets a bad shot because of the stuff in the media with Future and Sierra. But let's be real, when Russell Wilson is in between them lines, he is a baller. He has a decent offensive line. He has Courtland Sutton. He has Jerry Jeudy. He had Melvin Gordon is his backup running back. He has pieces. You got Bradley Chubb. You got Pat Surtain. You got Kareem Jackson on the defense. Like, Denver is going to make some noise this year, man. Like, Russell Wilson is the real deal. Seattle, y'all dropped the ball. Like, Russell Wilson is that special talent. Like, Pete Carroll, like, y'all messed up with this one. I don't know what happened in-house. Obviously, y'all didn't want to pay him the bag. But you see Denver not playing with him. They signed that man. He ain't even played a game yet. They got him extended out. Russell Wilson by a lot, man. Hey, like, he going to make Seattle feel this one. And plus, Bobby Wagner is now playing for the Rams. That's arguably Seattle's best defensive player last year. So, I'm going Denver.
Q, Broncos minus 6.5 on the road at the Seahawks. How you feeling about it?
Yeah, I'm going Denver as well for the simple fact that I heard Future might be at the game cheering on Russell, so he might he might show out a little bit. But nah, man, Russell is he's a talented quarterback. He finally has the protection that he can actually make plays. He can make some things happen. So I'm excited to really see him in a new system to see how he actually does. But like David said, man, he got weapons, and my most one I would like to call out would be Patrick Surtain. He pretty much plays like his father. He's getting there, I should say. So I think Denver gonna make some noise this year.
I also think that the Broncos probably end up winning this game. The Patriots took the souls of the Seahawks in that Super Bowl, and they have not been the same since. That was pretty much the death knell. It's just been a slow death up to this point. And, and as far as Future being at the game, to quote Future in a colloquial type of way, corny brothers don't impress me. Never let a lady dress me. So maybe there'll be something there. I will be looking to see how Russell Wilson looks. But, yeah, that should be an interesting dynamic to see exactly what happens there at the game. But, yeah, absolutely. I think the Broncos win. I think they win big. I think that Pete Carroll probably ends up retiring at the end of this season and moves on somewhere else. And I would love to see him in the booth. I would love to see him as an analyst. The dude he has a championship as a college coach. He has a championship as an NFL head coach. He's been around a bunch of different teams. I mean, isn't this the guy that took another Patriots team to the Super Bowl back in the 90s or something? I mean, this guy's been around for a minute. So, a very interesting situation going on with all that. So, transitioning out of what we're looking at week 1, let's take a wider overview of the NFL season. And we're going to do a little something that we call Look Out. Now, Look Out is going to be sleeper teams, and we're going to talk about basically the win totals, preseason win totals. And we're going to take a look at those. You've got some interesting different lines out here from different teams. One team I want to talk about that we haven't spoken about yet, the Baltimore Ravens. The Baltimore Ravens win total this season is 10.5. Now, as of the time that we're recording this, Lamar Jackson doesn't have a deal. And he's saying some things about his deal. Mr. Ball and Parlay, what did you hear about this deal and what he's saying about it?
So basically, he's saying if his deal is not done by Friday, he is done. Like talking about it. So that can mean anything. That can mean like, hey, if y'all let him go into the season, he's not re-signing. That can mean he's holding out. So, like I said earlier, man, I feel like when like teams let stuff like this linger over, it affects production. You know what I'm saying? Lamar has showed you year in and year out he's a baller. Like they had crazy injuries last year, and they still was winning games. So I'm like, bro, get the deal done. But as far as you said 9.5,
No, it's at 10.5.
I'm gonna put him right at 9.5. Right
So
at
you think
nine
it's
and a half.
gonna? You'll think it might go under? Okay,
It's
Q,
going
how
on
you
the man.
feeling?
Yep.
How you feeling about 10.5, Q?
Uh, I give them 11 and a half. I go one over. They, and believe it or not, man, they actually played New Orleans in New Orleans this year, and I believe they'll be the team that kind of my team will be the one that give them that extra win. When you look at the Ravens, man, they got a lot of pieces, O line wise, receiver wise, but the number one reason is Andrew, the tight end. Like that guy is unbelievable. Top two in my book, easy for tight ends in the league this year. But I think if Lamar doesn't get the deal done by Friday, I think it's more of a okay, hey, let's focus on getting this championship ring because that may validate his reason even more if he can get to a Super Bowl. So it may just be a thing with them was just putting it off until the season is over and then getting it done before the current contract expires.
Interesting. I think it's the Ravens are in dangerous water if they're going to let him go to a chance to be a free agent. Uh, any team would give him as much money as they. I think he was. They said somebody was floating out there. He wanted $250 million, and then he comes back and says, "No, I don't want 250 million. That's blah blah blah." Man, come on, $250 million for Lamar Jackson, maybe for 5 years, because he
Facts.
brings that type of value. The man is an MVP on a team that he had no business being the MVP on. So very interesting there. I'm going to take the under. I think that they go into the tank this year. I think that Lamar Jackson finds himself somewhere else, and the Ravens will just be the Ravens. They'll get somebody else to plug in. The coaching staff there is good. They're going to be in it year in and year out. It's just I think it'd be foolish to let Lamar Jackson go away. But yeah, so I'd say under 10.5. Another good one as far as these totals go is the Cincinnati Bengals. Now, the Cincinnati Bengals went to the Super Bowl last year. The Super Bowl was excellent last year. I think everyone would say this is one of the best that we've all seen. I mean, it was just awesome the way everything was kind of clicking. But their win total this year is 9.5. Now, we just talked about one of the teams that's in their division, the Baltimore Ravens, and I think it's going to go under. Honestly, I think the Bengals will win more than 9.5 this season. They have a lot of good things going on. I don't think it's going to be too many more. I could see them going 11-6 at the most. But Q, got any thoughts about what you think that maybe this team will do this year?
I'm gonna take the under on that, and the reason being, I think a lot of teams this year defensively kind of have them figured out and how they operate their offense. You look at a lot of the highlights from the Bengals last year. Guys like Chase got off when really games he shouldn't have. So I think this year defense is better prepared for this offense, and they kind of just slump them out a lot. So I'm taking the under on that one.
Okay. Ball, what do you think?
Hey man, Joe showed y'all what he can do, man. Joe ain't playing, man. Joe a madman out there, so I'm going over.
Mm.
Like all the talk is like Jamar Chase, but y'all don't realize Higgins balled out last year too. He had over 1,000 yards receiving, and it doesn't get talked about. It doesn't get talked about in fantasy leagues. It doesn't get talked about nowhere. They got two receivers that are balling, and Joe showed you that he can put it there. You know what I'm saying? We know they got Mixon. He's going to produce. They drafted a new offensive lineman, so they're investing in the protection of my boy Joe, and that's all I feel like he needs. Like he's a true quarterback, man. We literally who picked him to go to the Super Bowl last year? Nobody, and he made it a
Nobody.
game. Exactly, he made it a game. Like so, I'm done doubting him. Last time I doubted a quarterback over and over, he ended up getting 7 Super Bowls. I'm not doing it again.
Yeah, they were definitely doubted. No one was thinking that they were going to be going to the Super Bowl. I mean, it's like Keith Sweat came out and said, nobody, and
Nobody.
it's a damn shame what happened to Keith Sweat. He got into a car wreck, and they ended up finding his head, but they found nobody. Anyway, so moving swiftly on, um, let's talk about the Miami Dolphins. The Miami Dolphins over under for this season for the win total. Win total is going to be 8.5, which is basically Vegas is saying right down the middle. There's 17 games. 17 divided by 2 is 8.5. So I guess we have the chance here to see. Will it be a little bit over, a little bit under, right down the middle? So Mr. Ball and Parlay, the Miami Dolphins, 8.5 wins, over or under?
I think they over, man. I'm putting them right at 9, man. I actually like the new coach. I know I keep talking about my boys, but I got to revert to what I know. I know he was up under Kyle Shanahan, so I know he picked some of those offensive like crazy plays, and he has a plethora of people to work with. You know what I'm saying? He got Tua. Tua can't extend the ball. I know people talk about his deep ball, but from 35 and in, he's tremendously accurate. He has Jalen Waddle, Tyreek Hill, Moista, who is a beast at running back, man, and he can catch the ball. And they also have some pieces on defense. They got one of my favorite corners in the league, Xavier Howard. Like they have pieces on this team. Ingram on the defense now. Like they made some moves. You know what I'm saying? Like they got my boy Raekwon on the line. Like people just talking about Tyreek Hill, but some other additions have been made. Man, they can get 9 wins, man. If they don't get 9 wins, Tua may not be there. Let's be
Hmm.
real. So I'm going over, man. Bold take. I actually like that.
All right, Q, what do you think?
I
Eight
am
and a
gonna,
half wins, over or under?
yeah, I'm gonna go over as well. I'm gonna give them about 10 wins, and it'll be basically based off the fact that a lot of people don't know what they expect from this team, especially this new re-energized offense, I should say. I think they come out kind of catch a lot of teams off guard, do big things, and a lot of people don't understand as the season go on, fatigue plays a big part, and in their situation, if Tua was to get hurt or anything like that, they have Teddy Bridgewater. Teddy Bridgewater, a guy that can hold his own, and he can still produce even now. So I think they're gonna catch a lot of people slipping, and a lot of upsetting gonna be going on too.
Okay. Well, as we wrap up NFL, let's do a way too early Super Bowl prediction. I'm going to put you on the spot right here. Mr. Ball and Parlay, give me the two teams you think that will be in the Super Bowl this year.
Hey, Q, come a little closer to the camera so they can see that hat. Yes, sir. Hey, I like the
Hmm.
49ers. Do I have to explain why? You just want the teams.
I want the two teams, and I want you to tell me why.
49ers, man. I feel like they got that blood in their mouth. I feel like they have tasted it. They young. They locked in Debo. We have the best lineman in the NFL, arguably the best D lineman as well, and Nick Bosa. Trent Williams on the other side. We finally have a lockdown corner in Tre'Davious Ward. If Trey Lance is just a little bit better than Jimmy, he doesn't have to be great. Jimmy got us there multiple times. We just need a little bit more. So I feel like if Trey is clicking, he gonna get there. He gonna make us get there. On the other side, I like the Bills, man. Just gonna be real. Like you saw it today. They beat the Rams by what 3 touchdowns? The defending champions. The defending champions by 3 touchdowns. So Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs, Knox. Hey, 49ers Bills showdown. 49ers by 10 in the Super Bowl. Bang bang, baby.
Interesting. All right, Q, who you got, man?
It's funny that he set that up like that because I was thinking the exact same thing. My team, the Saints, in there with the Bills. Bills showed a lot tonight. Bill, and I'm looking at the Vegas radar on the wins. They only got the Saints at 8.5. That's so disrespectful, man.
Mm.
But
They smart.
we've always been the underdogs though. So I love it, man. The Saints gonna shock a lot of people this year. If we can stay healthy, that's gonna be the number one thing. Stay healthy. You got to think about it. I'm more excited about the defense than I am the offense. You got the Mario Davis, Honey Badger, Mays, Lattimore, Cam Jordan up front. Omin Yetta. He's a dog at defensive tackle that a lot of people don't talk about. Henderson, not Henderson, but Davenport, Marcus Davenport coming off the edge. So I'm definitely liking the Saints and the Bills in the Super Bowl this year. Quote me on it now. 'Cause I'm gonna come back to this video and we're gonna clip it later on in the season. You're gonna be like, man, how did he know that?
Hey, White Chalk.
Yeah,
That
man.
that crack that you said that's missing in Dallas, I think is at
Mm-hmm.
Q's house.
Well, that's how it be sometimes. I mean, I've heard some real interesting picks, but Saints versus Bills in the Super Bowl, I don't know if I've ever heard anything like that. Honestly, I'm going to say that I think that the Super Bowl this year is actually going to give everybody what they want. This is going to be the year that they give them what they want because the ratings will be super high. If you have the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, at the end of the day, the NFL
Rematch.
comes down to money. It comes down to who's going to be watching what eyeballs, where the money is, who the big name players are. There are really no two bigger players in the game right now than Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady. And when Tom Brady gets out of here, Patrick Mahomes and someone else is going to be there. But Patrick Mahomes with, what's he got, a $503 million contract from now
Half a
until,
billion.
13 years or whatever it is.
Mm.
And honestly, I think that the type of athlete he is, that he's going to have his chance to make a run at Tom Brady's Super Bowl ring count once Brady gets out of the way. So I'm just going to say, just for the fans, we all want to see the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And I think that Tom Brady will win again. And also he'll be elected president of the United States. And then he'll maybe go on to be king of the world. They'll send him to Mars. They'll do whatever. The man, obviously, he can do anything that he wants.
Yeah.
45 years old.
Second
Freak
round
show.
pick.
Absolutely. So, all right, gentlemen. So, let's go to the end here, and we're going to do some quick picks for the college season. Now, obviously, we don't want to give away anything too juicy, but I'm going to throw some games out there. I'll throw 5 college games out there. I'll throw 5 pro games out there. There's no need for any kind of explanation. I just want you to know. I just want to know straight up who you like on these games. So I'm going to start with the obligatory Alabama versus Texas. And it's Alabama minus 20 points. Ball, who you like?
We picking against the spread?
Nope, just straight up, not against the spread.
Oh, Bama. Bama all day.
Okay. Q?
Yeah, Bama. Sarkis not ready at all.
Okay. We've got number 10 USC at Stanford. USC is now looking at the line, an 8.5 point favorite. Q, who do you like? USC or Stanford?
I like Stanford, believe it or not. They've been known to give USC some problems.
Okay. Ball, who you like?
Going USC, man. Going USC. They got some receivers down there. Going USC.
Got you. I will also go with USC. I think that Lincoln Riley will have his team ready to play, and it should be a good. Hopefully, it'll be a good game. Let's skip around here. I'm going to throw a wild card at you, and we'll pick this one against the spread just for fun. Appalachian State at number 6 Texas A&M, and Texas A&M is a 19-point favorite. And we all know how Appalachian State likes to just do weird things. Sometimes they play big. So Texas A&M minus 19. Q, who do you like?
Texas A&M, man. Appalachian State gave it all up in that game against North Carolina. They gave it all.
Okay. Ball?
I'm going App State.
You'll take App State. You'll take the points.
Texas A&M
Okay.
played awful last week. I feel like if you truly watch that game, they played awful. I feel like, hey, App State still got some in the tank, man.
Okay. I would take Texas A&M just because it's a SEC powerhouse and there's a lot of points, and I think that there's a chance that they could win by 3 or 4 touchdowns pretty easily. App State, I have a lot of respect for them, but let's not get carried away. Let's move, let's move along to a nice SEC matchup. South Carolina 1-0 versus number 16 Arkansas, who is also 1-0. So you've got Arkansas a -8.5 points, but I don't know. It's going to be an interesting game. Q, who do you like in this game?
I'm gonna go with South Carolina on this. I think they're gonna pull out the upset.
Interesting. Ball?
Soo-wee. There go Arkansas.
Okay. I'm going to take the Hogs as well. That's a lot of points for the SEC. If we were betting against the spread, I would probably take South Carolina and maybe buy it up to 9 or something along those lines. And one other matchup is that, how many is that we've done? I've lost count at this point. It doesn't matter. Number 24, Tennessee versus Pitt. We already talked about that a little bit earlier. We all like Tennessee in that game. Do you think that the 6 points means anything in this game? I'll just ask that question.
Nah, not at all.
Okay. And then you've got some of the big name teams like Clemson. They're playing Furman. Okay, that's ridiculous. I don't know. I mean, I guess it's good for the Palladians to get that check from Clemson, but I mean that team they're too big. You've got number 4 Michigan playing Hawaii. Honestly, I think Michigan puts 70 points up on them. I mean, it's going to be a very ugly game. Hawaii is not good this year. And, we used to like to stay up late and maybe chase Hawaii. They had June Jones down there. You had Jimmy Chan and all that sort of stuff. And so I just don't know. I mean, these are not very good games. Like Notre Dame's playing Marshall. I mean, come on, it's ridiculous for week 2. Georgia is playing Samford, Birmingham, Alabama's own Samford. Okay, so that's kind of the week that we have going here. Now let's switch gears. Let's go to the NFL. I want to pick some of the ones that are a little bit off the beaten path, and we'll go from there. Let's go to the Cleveland Browns at the Panthers. It's even money, right? So it's moved to even money. It was Panthers -2.5. So at an even money pick'em game, Browns versus Panthers. Mr. Ball and Parlay, who you like?
Hey, man, I love a redemption story, like Baker Mayfield going against his own team. But I feel like Cleveland more complete, man. Got to go with the running game, the defense. I'm going Browns, man. I'm going Browns.
Okay, Q?
I'm going with Carolina on this one. Christian McCaffrey gonna be a problem, and you got to think, man, the Browns gave Deshaun Watson $235 million, knowing that he was going to get suspended for a lot of games this year. So I don't think Browns got it all there right now.
Okay. I think I would stick with the Browns just strictly for the defense on this game. So I would take the Browns and even money. Let's go over to the Philadelphia Eagles versus the Detroit Lions. The Detroit Lions have been winning the Hard Knocks game. Dan Campbell is now leading the Coach of the Year standings at plus 1,200. I just don't see how that's going to happen. I actually think that the Eagles go to the playoffs this year, so I'm kind of high on the Eagles. You got the Philadelphia -4 at Detroit. Q, who do you like in this game?
Taking the Eagles, man. The Eagles have some pieces they've added this year that I think they completed them. Especially they just got C.J. Gardner-Johnson from the Saints earlier in the week, so definitely going with the Eagles on this one.
Okay, Mr. Ball and Parlay.
Got to go with the Eagles, man. A.J. Brown is considered the number 1 receiver. Anytime you got a former Heisman in Devonta Smith, and he's the number 2 guy, you got to roll with him, man. You got to roll with him till them wheels fall off, man. I like the Eagles.
Okay. I also like the Eagles, and I think that they're going to that'll be an interesting game, I believe so. Let's move over to the Las Vegas Raiders versus the now L.A. Chargers. You've got the Chargers. They're at home, -3. Ball, who you like in this game?
4 words. Justin Herbert, Keenan Allen. I like the Chargers, man.
Okay, the Bolts. Q?
Taking the Raiders, man. Raiders stacked up this year. When they got Devontae Adams, got Marcus Williams from the Saints, of course. Dog at free safety. So Definitely the Raiders on this one.
They lost Ruggs.
Yeah, well, the Raiders they've had some issues here for the past couple of seasons. I'm trying to check. I got an email here from John Gruden, and man, he's using the worst language you've ever heard. He's calling me all kinds of stuff. This is nuts. And then you've got Ruggs, and it was a tragic situation of
Definitely.
him thinking that he can drive drunk and going that fast, residential area. I mean, just you never want to see that happen. Just a horrible situation. So just on that, I'm going to take the Chargers, and may God have mercy on the soul of the Raiders. And let's see, one last game here. The Chiefs at the Cardinals. You've got the Chiefs. They are a -6. Now, the Cardinals last year, I don't know if you recall or not, they started the season extremely strong. They were very, very well. By week 10, week 11, people were acting like this team could really do something. Do we think they're going to start off strong and fast again, or do you think that the Chiefs are going to come in and throw cold water on them? Q, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to take the Chiefs on this one. We actually just went to a Cardinals game about 2 weeks ago when they played the Ravens. Like, granted, it was preseason, but Cardinals are a team that if the starters get hurt, they're in trouble because their second team is just not there. So I'm definitely taking the Chiefs on this one.
Okay. Mr. Ball and Parlay, who you like?
Man, we going the opposite way a lot. This gonna be an interesting first little week. I like the Cardinals, man, but I do agree with Q. Them backups look awful in that preseason game we was at, man. But hey, you got my man Murray. I think he gonna do his thing. I feel like the Chiefs have a lot of changes, and I don't know if their chemistry is the same. Who's to say that Juju can replace Tyreek? Granted, he's not gonna be that deep ball threat that he was, but I don't know. They just gonna have to show me, man. So I'm gonna go with the Cardinals, man. They got my boy Marquise Brown over there. Isabella. They got some speed. They got James Conner. Um, JJ Watt. I'm hearing things that he's healthy. And they got Buda Bake, man. They got a squad down there, man. So let's go I'll take the Cardinals and the points. I love that. I love them six.
Okay, I feel like the Chiefs and Andy Reid and the Kansas City barbecue and him being the size of a small bull, I would give him a little bit an edge on this right here. I did like what I saw from the Cardinals last season. However, there's an organizational thing here, and I feel like the Chiefs have had more cohesion, even though they've had players that have come and gone and everything else. They seem to be able to get back in that cohesive type of thing, and Andy Reid does a good job of keeping his players on track. And he's lost some coaches, he's lost some people around him, he's lost a lot of pieces. But I feel like just it's wide open, and the Chiefs, like I say, you have to follow the money, and they got a big money man there. And Kyler Murray, maybe he plays a little bit too much video games. Maybe he doesn't get studied up like they think he's going to. Maybe he sleeps a little bit and comes out a little bit slow this season. And actually, I think the best thing for the Cardinals would be to come out and just get destroyed by the Chiefs. I think they got talent on that team. If they can stay healthy, they can be okay, and they can really make this thing go.
Okay.
And so, but once again, I'm not a professional gambler. I never I didn't profess to be, and I'm not that guy. So to anything that I say on this podcast going forward, you just take with a grain of salt. I'm just here for entertainment purposes only. So bear that in mind. So we've come to the end of it. I think this has been a lot of good information that we've had here. We're going to be doing this podcast and trying to release it Thursdays before the Thursday morning before the Thursday game happens. Going forward, we had some snafus. We've just been dealing with technical issues, but it ain't no thing. We're going to definitely keep it going, but I'm happy to be on board. I appreciate the opportunity to be able to produce this thing. And I'm going to throw it out to the fellas here for some last thoughts before we get out the door. So, Q, anything you'd like to say to the people?
Listen, man, we appreciate y'all. We've been doing the ball and parlay, I think, for about last 3 years now, if I'm not mistaken. We appreciate everybody with the support. We still need your support, your continued support. Go to the Facebook page, the YouTube page, Ball and Parlay Podcast. Like, subscribe, share, and drop some comments and let us know how we're doing. And, tell us, hey, I like this. You guys need to do. Just keep it real with us. That's all we ask. And we actually have a third brother who's supposed to be on this podcast. he's down right now due to an accident that he had, and he's slowly but surely recovering. And I can tell you that the condition he was in and the condition he's in now, man, God is real. So y'all just continue to pray for our brother Craig, but we're gonna get him on here as soon as possible.
Yeah, man. Facts, man. Just to piggyback off Q, man. Start off, get well, Craig, man. We waiting on you. You know we've been handling business for you and keeping this thing going. Um, I know in the group, like Q said, we've been doing this for 3 years, man. But people like, hey, when y'all posting? Um, when the next podcast? Hey, shout out to Wyt Choc. He came at the right time, man. I'm real excited about this partnership. We able to do what me and Q been trying to do for years, man, and that's just give back to our members. Like Q said, if you see something we missing, you like something, you don't like something, hey, communicate with us. Even if it's on the Facebook group, which is Ball and Parlay, we have a page called Ball and Parlay as well. Um, Ball and Parlay podcast on YouTube. Like and subscribe. Hey, our active members, y'all know we're gonna take care of y'all. We're gonna interact. We're gonna engage. We're gonna take care of y'all. But hey, shout out to Ball and Parlay Lounge, man, and Wyt Choc, man. I'm really excited to see what this gonna do. And we got a lot of opportunities for y'all as well as far as sponsorships and all that, man. Contact us. We got some things cooking up. And like you said, we coming every Thursday, man. At the latest Friday.
Absolutely, and just to piggyback off of that, any potential sponsors out there, we have all these different segments of the show. We would love to have your brand in there. We would love to be able to say this is brought to you by whoever it is. Reach out to the guys. Go into the group, figure that out. We're easy to get in touch with. We want all the engagement that we can get from folks as far as getting branding and everything else out there. It's a part of what it is that we're doing is growing this community as well. So we need some other businesses that are in the community to come on in so we can all be in here together and doing this thing going forward. So anyway, well, that wraps us up for this week 1 of the NFL, episode 1 of this season of the Ball and Parlay Lounge.